I the antagonist for not wanting to help my youngest sister financially because she and her husband left good careers to jump on the real estate bandwagon? My sister is in her late 30s, married, no kids, and has had 2 previous bankruptcies. She and her husband both worked in banking and made a good living that they left to chase the real estate money. In 2021, our parents let them know how big of a mistake we all thought this was going to be. Everyone saw what was coming. They worked for a couple of years under one realtor, then started their own office by buying one out last year and are now in financial trouble as they aren't moving homes. We have always been very supportive of her, despite her being in her mid-30s, almost losing her home twice, constant credit card issues, cars repossessed, and really only wanting to be part of the family when she needs money. I've always been fortunate with my career and my husband with his, so when she comes to me, I always oblige, but I just don't want to this time. Example of how it goes when I loan her money. 15 years ago, when they were losing their home in 2009 after they both lost their jobs due to the housing crash of 2009, my husband and I lent them $50,000 to be repaid as they could, our fault. Never anything but the initial thank you, you're saving us, and then a yay, we finally paid you off. Almost 10 years later, it was as if we owed them this money and it was our honor to lend that cash to them, free of charge, and at a repayment plan that was comfy for them. Later we found out that our parents lent them a sizable loan that they haven't paid a cent towards. Last Christmas, after not seeing them for 5 years and their arrival being somewhat of a surprise, the conversation moved towards real estate. Things got a little heated when our father asked them about the market and how that was affecting them. On cue, they blamed everyone else but themselves and how they were, get this, blindsided, huge eye rolls. Our father ended the conversation with, well, just don't come to your mom and I or bake at you if you need money again. I didn't tell them that I loaned her money previously. Last week my sister called me out of the blue and let me know that due to everyone else's fault but her own, as it's always been, they can't make the numbers work and could use a lift. I was speechless, but I should have known that it was a money call. When she finally asked if she could borrow some money again, I just replied, that's not a good idea. I should have said 1,000 other things, but that's all I could muster up. I expanded to tell her that it's not a good investment for us because of her track record with us and the banks, and asked why she ignored all of us throughout this real estate journey. As she hung up, she said, you and my husband really are assholes. So, am I the asshole? We have the money, she is family, she did repay us, but I don't feel like I owe her anything. Not the antagonist. Your decision not to lend them money is clearly the right one, especially considering their track record with bankruptcies. It's important to prioritize your own financial stability and not enable their irresponsible behavior. You should feel confident in your decision and not let anyone make you feel guilty for setting healthy boundaries. Would I be the antagonist if I tell my girlfriend that I don't want her parents visiting our house anymore? I have been in a relationship with my partner for 7 years now and lived with them for I think about 4 years. During this time, I have had an on and off relationship with their parents, usually more off than on. We moved about 3 hours away from them, which I thought would help us diminish contact a fair bit. But it's actually worse. They visit once a month. They used to do Friday, Sunday, then it became Wednesday, Sunday. Now they do the entire week, and it's just too much, man. They sit around the house doing nothing all day and hog the TV. I come home from work and then have to cook for them. Then I end up washing the dishes afterwards. But the second I want a bit of downtime to play on my Xbox, they start moaning that I'm taking the TV from them and criticizing and saying I should respect them as guests. Going on from this, they are always rude to me. My partner is an only child and is absolutely the golden child of the family. They're a scientist with a master's degree on really good money. I'm their lazy idiot partner, fit to be the butt of every joke by them. Their entire sense of humor is mocking my intelligence, making jokes about how I wouldn't know how to change a light bulb, or picking out children's books for me when we're in town, or asking me if I need help counting past 10. Yeah. It was funny the first few years, but now it's getting old. If it's not dumb jokes, it's lazy jokes. Comments about how I'm scared of working. Comments about how my idea of a hard day's work is getting off my chair and walking to the fridge. Comments about how the furthest I've gone on holiday is from one side of the house to the other. Constantly taking jabs at my weight, even though they are both fatter than me. Not being funny. I'm just as qualified as they are. I work the same amount of hours as they do. I'm in a pretty similar field than they are. I come home and I'm the one that cooks and cleans. Not them. They call me lazy because I won't run around making them a coffee all the time, and because after dinner I go to my room and stay there. I'm not sleeping. I don't want to talk to them. They also argue with me nonstop. Constantly try to take control of everything when they are in the house. Try to establish rules for me in my own house while they are there. And I've spoken to my partner about toning them down since I've had a million or more arguments with them, and they don't take me seriously. They speak to me like I'm the family dog or something. My partner does nothing. I clearly clash with them. We aren't going to get along. I just want to be able to have my own house and my own space without them spending a week every month invading it. We live in a small place without many rooms. They are hard to avoid. I feel as though I'm entitled to have a say in my own place. I am paying half of the rent after all. I'm not stopping my partner seeing them. They can visit whenever they like. I just don't want them here. Not the antagonist. Your girlfriend's parents are disrespectful and your girlfriend should defend you. It's important to set boundaries and stick to them, as her parents visiting for a week every month is excessive. It's time for your girlfriend to confront her parents and make a decision about their behavior in your home. Consider if you have a future with a family that treats you this way. I'm not my boyfriend's body preference. My, female 23, boyfriend, male 24, have been together for nearly 4 years in a long-distance relationship. We usually meet at least 3 times a year. A little background. I've been insecure about my body for as long as I can remember. I'm very skinny and tall. My body mass index is around 15 now, and I'm actively working on gaining weight by eating more and hitting the gym. I've felt a lot more comfortable in my body lately. I often get complimented that I look like a model because my legs are long and I'm very skinny. This has slowly given me a boost in loving myself, but I can't help but feel insecure only to my boyfriend because of the below. Last year when I saw him, I saw on his phone he had another Twitter account, and I was curious so I clicked on it to find that he was following other girls that post provocative photos like IDOWorkHereLady of them. I was already heartbroken so I didn't look too deep into it, just closed it. But what I saw was all these girls were the literally opposite body type to what I was, being more busty as in actually having hips and breasts, whereas I am completely flat. I was so upset he told me that he made a mistake, and he's sorry he was wrong, etc. And he only had it because he got really high one time at a friend's house, and I guess was horny at the time. But why take the effort to make a whole different Twitter for this stuff even if you don't use it or reply, like, message on it? Why couldn't he be like a normal person, just watch regular porn? Why did you need to follow these specific people? It just didn't make sense to me. And he has always been a kind, genuine person that has never lied to me. I was honestly just shocked because I could have never imagined him to do something like this. I don't remember what happened for us to make up last year, but everything has been perfect with him. I saw him again this past week, and I feel bad for bringing up something that happened last year, but it was in my head again. I try so hard to forget. I know he stopped and doesn't do it anymore, but still, I can't help but realize I am not his ideal body type from what I saw, even if he hadn't said it directly. We went on a nature trail and we talked about everything. I told him I feel perfect, but when I'm with him I feel insecure because of what I had seen. He told me he never meant to hurt me and that he made a mistake, etc. I asked how often he watched porn, and he said once a day or less. And I feel like if you're with someone, even long distance, why do you need to watch this? Like, am I not enough? Is it because I'm not your body type? Isn't daily an addiction? I got really in my head because we were planning to get married this year. I thought about how I wanted to feel happy in my body for once. I can't imagine getting married to this man, and what if he will continue to look at thicker girls because it just isn't who I am, and I'm not his type. I just felt disgusted by all of this, and I wanted to break up. He begged and told me he loved me and wanted to marry me and I'm perfect to him, etc. But I can't help but feel I'm not based on what was seen. I don't know what to do. Nothing he says can change what was seen or done. I felt like why settle for this when I can probably just be with someone that prefers skinny girls in my body type. Then I wouldn't have to go the rest of my life feeling insecure around my partner. He doesn't want to lose me and asked if there is anything we can do to save us, but right now I know I love him, but I feel resentment. I said I need a lot of space, and we should take a break, but this does not guarantee if we will be together. He told me he will meditate instead of watching porn and just work on himself overall. I also mentioned other things like him needing to grow up in a way and find hobbies, etc. to give me the person I deserve and change for me during the break, which I appreciate. But I don't know if I can ever erase the fact that I am not his ideal body type. Is this something I'm just supposed to get over? No one can just change their preference. Nothing will change the fact that I am not, and I never will be. I love him and do want to be with him, but am conflicted. Can anyone get over something like this? If you've only seen each other for a few days, it's hard to consider him a boyfriend of 4 years. Perhaps find someone local if you haven't spent much real time together yet. It's important to work on your confidence and self-worth, as it can make a huge difference in every part of life. Just like how the body types of partners can change over time as love grows, and the flaws become what you love about them. Trust that your boyfriend is attracted to you and loves you for who you are. My boyfriend turned out to be a religious fanatic and flat earther. I am not religious at all, did not grow up religious, and have no interest in all of this. My boyfriend knew that, and I knew that his religion is important to him. We accepted each other, and it was never a topic between us. Some weeks ago we had a conversation about something where he basically admitted to be a flat earther. I was not really surprised as he spends quite some time on TikTok, and apparently, this whole flat earth belief seems to spread on this platform. I do not know much about TikTok since I do not use it, or any other social media. First, I thought he was joking. Sadly, he was not. He ended up making fun of me and insulting me for believing the earth is round, saying you probably learned that in school, and kept making fun of me. I went to Google, showed him different pictures, even from a plane. He managed to blame the window in the plane for the curve. Whatever I showed him, he found a reason to make it invalid. Asked him to fly somewhere with me so he can see it for himself. He also denied that offer. At the end, he said NASA just made the Earth look round somehow. He said I know how to Google and should find evidence for a flat Earth myself. I ended this conversation then because it was way too stupid. And honestly, I was shocked and sad that my boyfriend turned out to be one of those fools. Now we just had another argument where he exposed himself as an absolute fanatic person. He openly denies science and claims that, for example, mental health issues are linked to the devil and being possessed rather than some actual medical problem. In this argument, he kept calling me dumb, stupid, and that I should not dare to talk about things I don't know. When I mention doctors and science, he goes, and now you're a doctor and know everything, acting like I'm a smartass while I just say that there is science and evidence. Whatever I say, it is wrong, and I am the stupid, uneducated person. I asked him why he insults me. He replied, because you insult me by being ignorant, followed by classic Western leftist and classic news watcher. He comes from a very religious family, and I feel like he was failed by every single family member. He can only attack me and never prove any evidence for anything he says. But whenever I prove something, it is invalid, fake, and I'm just a fool for believing those lies. I'm deluded, I'm dumb, and Westerners are depressed by birth. I love him, but I don't know how to deal with this. Is that a sign to end this relationship? We have been together for a year now. This would have ended for me the minute I realized he wasn't joking about flat Earth. You're allowing an absolute moron to call you a moron. Is that a sign to end this relationship? Yes, of course it is. The honeymoon period is over and now you see who he really is. Why in the hell would you ever consider staying with someone like this? Am I the antagonist for telling my husband I don't want my mother-in-law staying for the first weeks after our daughter is born? After our daughter is born in 2 months, I want my mom to stay with us for a few days to a week to help me recover and help out with our little one, as my mother is amazing, has always been there for me, and wants to stay as she lives 2 hours away and commuting isn't an option. She'll give me space if I need it and help cook and clean. My husband wants his mother to stay for 3-4 days after that, but I can almost guarantee that she will be another child to babysit. She is always telling me what to do, and even though she abandoned all 5 of her kids, including my husband, when they were little and signed over her rights, I am fairly certain she's going to try to push her opinions on me of what I'm doing wrong, and my sleep-deprived self is going to lose it on her and strain our somewhat tenuous relationship, possibly damaging it permanently. I highly doubt she will cook or clean, so it will be another person for me to cook for, clean up after, and take care of while my husband is at work. He's saying that we don't know how much longer she'll be around, which I don't think is a fair statement. His mother is 54, with little health issues, and my mom is 56, and just beat stage 4 cancer with a prognosis of 6 months. And that he wants this to be her first grandchild she has a relationship with. She has 4 other grandchildren and she has never met them or tried to be in their lives. She says she wants to do better and be different, but after her multiple times, including at my wedding, making everything about her and inconveniencing everyone for her needs, I am skeptical that this would be any different, especially because my husband's birthday was last week and she didn't even call him. Said her phone was acting up. I told my husband it's not my fault that she doesn't drive, and that we have to drive her everywhere, and that shouldn't make it so that she has to stay for days instead of visiting during the day. She only lives 30 minutes away. I also told him that if he wants her there to help him, that's perfectly fine, but he shouldn't bring her with the expectation that I will be with her 8-10 hours a day without him. If he wants her support and wants to spend time with her, that's up to him, just like I do not expect him to spend 8 hours a day with my mom when she is staying. The point is for me and her to bond. If he wants her to come after the first few weeks, once we have a routine, that would be fine, but during the first few weeks, she's going to be too overbearing. He's saying he can never tell his mom that my mom stayed the first week because it would hurt her feelings. Am I the antagonist? Not the antagonist. Your husband should prioritize your needs over his mother's comfort. Make a list of tasks for her to help with, like making a meal or doing laundry, and have your husband ask her to assist. If she invites guests who expect to be entertained, retreat to the bedroom with the baby for a rest. It's important for your husband to have your back and ensure you have the support you need without unnecessary drama. Congratulations on the baby. My BF lied about giving me a drink that had previously made me sick. What to say? We have been together for a year and a half. After a couple responses on another post, I realized we have to talk about it, looking for advice. He does not pay enough attention to things that don't directly impact him, but this is probably the most physically painful time for me. I've recently learned that a specific dye sets me off terribly. I'd had issues with dyes making me sick before, but it only clicked a couple weeks ago. I also tend to eat very healthy, and I only ever drink water, with one specific flavor packet, so I don't make random dietary decisions often. My boyfriend was trying to encourage me to try a new flavor he liked, and I agreed. I became violently ill after I drank it for a couple of days, literally throwing up red and shitting my pants. I survived. We both acknowledged that was not good, and I tried to recover. I've been good from that, but got my period, which is aggressive, painful, and by night it's hard to stand. Last night my boyfriend volunteered to go downstairs and refill my water bottle. When I took a sip I told him it wasn't my normal one, and he must have put the wrong one in, which is hard because I have a huge box of them right at the front so you'd have to go around them to get anything else. He got annoyed, told me it explicitly was not the one that made me sick, and that it would be okay. I was sick and not sturdy enough to get out of bed, so I just dealt with it even though the taste was way stronger than I wanted. Sure enough, this morning I'm throwing up and struggling again. I go down to look in the trash and the only thing in it is from the specific pack that made me sick. Boyfriend was having a shitty morning because he didn't want to go to work, and I know me saying anything is going to make him upset and probably make his day worse. Still, if he had this experience, I definitely would be overly cautious to not replicate it. The water he gave me was literally what he said it wasn't, and now I get to be more sick than I would have been. What can I even say about this? It's not unlikely that he will take anything as me attacking him. I would really like so sorry, and I will be more careful in the future. First of all, I'm worried and think you should see a doctor. You seem to be very sick in several different ways and it sounds urgent. I wouldn't take your boyfriend with you. He might question you and make you feel judged. Your health should be your priority, not his feelings. You need to have a clear mind when talking to a doctor. It's concerning that he gave you something unsafe that made you sick, and doesn't seem to be prioritizing your well-being. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.